Hi guys, Horus the Sky God Pharaoh. Today we're going to be reacting to Lois's prison sentence. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
On the surface, Lois Griffin is a sensible, law-abiding citizen and definitely not an obvious choice for a villain. At least, not around the holidays. But think about it, this lady's genes helped produce the most evil baby of all time. And after spending the past week digging into her criminal past, I've uncovered numerous disturbing crimes that this law-breaking redhead can be charged for. Meg's parents care less and less about her as the seasons go on, so really the only examples of them sticking up for their daughter are in the very early of seasons. In Season 3, Episode 5, Lois wanted to rip Connie's eyes out after she messed with her kid. Meg is desperate to become a cheerleader, but Connie thinks an overweight, four-eyed loser like her is more suited to the Flag Girl Squad, a team made of disabled and genetically mutated girls. She makes the team, but gets way in over her head and actually starts to believe she's one of the cool kids. The dork's delusion pisses off Connie and her cool friends, so they decide to turn what was supposed to be the happiest day of Meg's life into the most humiliating.
My sister, who is pregnant with my husband's child. My brother.
Man, I love how these kids celebrate these days.
If this is a later season, everyone in the family would be on the floor in hysterics. Also, just look at Stewie's evil little side smirk. This is going to be a core memory for him, you can already know. Lois encourages Meg to win over her bullies with kindness, and now she has an invite to Connie's Sweet 16. Mrs. Griffin says this is the perfect opportunity to get revenge and has even created a flash grenade to use at said party. But Meg doesn't listen to her mom and ends up getting humiliated again.
Okay, everyone get ready. Say hello to the lovers.
I love how even a pig will run away in terror after locking lips with Meg Griffin. That is just sad, man. Lois consoles her crying daughter in the car and cheers her up by saying she did something that'll scar Connie for life.
Hey there, sweetie. How old are you?
16.
18? You're first.
Mom!
I like where this is going.
Giggity, giggity, giggity.
While guns are legal in Rhode Island, civilians are prohibited from possessing, owning, and using certain firearms like flash grenades. So Lois is going to be spending a year in the slammer for making that frackin' grenade. Yeah, Stewie and his mom might have more in common than I initially thought. I'll just come out and say it. Lois Griffin is the biggest nut job in Family Guy.
Yes.
Don't believe me? Just watch
Maybe
the
Peter
episode to throw it
Griffin
away.
is the biggest
Lois
nut.
buys Trisha Takanawa's book on decluttering, and the instructions are pretty straightforward. Throw anything away that doesn't bring you joy. She starts throwing out old sweaters, but even after decluttering every item in the house, including her husband, she's still not feeling the benefits Trisha promised. That's probably because she hasn't thrown away every bit of junk that doesn't bring her joy, like Brian and her own children as well.
Now you've done it.
You made me 1930s wet whistle
angry.
Shut up, Meg.
Well, I didn't say anything.
You just did. Your voice, it's cluttering up my space. Get out. But get out of my house, dirtbag. Leave.
Figured it was going to happen anyway. Might as well go out on my terms.
Lois is left alone in the white void that was once her home, but is still unable to find peace. The emptiness eventually becomes too much for her, and she runs away to the Epiphany Bridge of Mount Asia. While she only came there to think, the family ran after her thinking she was about to commit. The Batman rushes to save her, but accidentally knocks her off the bridge himself.
Please don't jump. Please. I love you.
Lois survives the fall by ironically falling onto a ship full of decluttered items. Being saved by garbage shows her how wonderful useless stuff can be, and the rest of the family gets invited back into the home. This should go without saying, but it's illegal for a parent to kick their child out of the house if they are under 18. Meg turned 18 in season 10, so Lois would only be facing a year in total for abandoning Chris and Stewie. Abandoning a pet is illegal as well, so that's another 30 days you need to add to the scumbag sentence. I'm just glad that she's not getting punished for kicking Peter out of the house. We all know she should have done that ages ago. Remember that brutal act of bullying Lois committed when she was in high school?
When you took the blindfold off, I was standing around my ankles and a hot dog in my mouth.
While humiliating and scarring Joyce for life wasn't a crime, Lois did get her comeuppance decades later. See, she's out grocery shopping and bumps into the new Quahog News anchor, Joyce Kinney. She's totally starstruck and is on cloud nine when the journalist invites a nobody like her out for drinks. At the bar, Lois confesses to starring in an adult film during college, and Joyce promises to take the secret to her grave. I think we all know where this is going.
Church organist Lois Griffin has revealed to this reporter movie back in the early 1980s.
Boy, that black bar would be a lot lower now, huh?
Evidently, Lois Griffin, star of Quest for Fur.
Raging like an angry bull, Lois storms down to the Quahog News station to confront Joyce for her outing her dirty little secret, only to find out she exposed it as revenge for being bullied in high school. When Sunday comes, Lois bravely shows her shameless face at church, but gets kicked out for being a sinner and a skank. First off, their words, not mine. Second off, that is a terrible church. Back home, she's in floods of tears, but after Brian tells her to own the choices she made, she takes his advice literally by showing her adult film to the whole church.
And here it is.
Quagmire.
I know I'm a man of God, but it's hot.
I know.
That was the best day.
It is hot. Oh my
Of
god.
certain people's lives. Unbelievably, Lois gets accepted back into the church and is not arrested for showing literal corn to dozens of churchgoers and even minors. The law certainly wouldn't be as lenient as the Quahog
Think
Reverend,
so?
and Lois would be heading straight for
think?
jail for 4 years.
No,
That's 2
really.
years for her showing her obscene video to everyone at church, and an extra 2 for displaying the nutty tape in front of minors. She has zero shame. Encountering trolls on social media is the least of Meg's worries. Like, she gets mistreated by her own family on the daily. This is like nothing new.
Chris, beer.
Meg
Ugly.
Ugly.
Hey, Meg! Hanging out with all your friends?
Hey, Will! The ocean's that way!
I did that to a bully once.
Good work, Joe.
Not Shamu 1 and Shamu 2 making fun of Meg for being barely overweight. Those were pretty vile things to say, but the most cruel comment that was ever said to poor Meg surprisingly didn't come from Peter. It came from Lois.
I hate my life! Okay, look, Meg, I've been at this for 45 minutes. I don't know what else I can say. Here's a Sylvia Plath book and a bottle of Ambien. I'm gonna look the other way, and whatever happens, happens.
So if you didn't already know, Sylvia Plath was an
Interested in modeling and acting? Calling all kids and teens. Barbizon is
author who unalived herself, and Ambien is a brand of sleeping pills. So yeah, it's pretty clear what Lois was suggesting when she gave Meg that book and bottle of pills. Believe it or not, encouraging someone to commit is a crime, and Lois could wind up in jail for 5 years if convicted. Someone should tell that to Twitter. Such a garbage mom. No wonder Meg had that voodoo doll of her.
Oh, keep!
There are a lot of things Brian does that piss Lois off, like eating bubble gum out of the garbage and constantly making passes at her, but she completely lost it when that pricker had the audacity to drink all her white wine.
I thought you were going to do some kind of Godfather murder on me.
Oh, Brian, I don't watch mafia movies, but I did see Fargo.
Huh?
Brutally killing Brian like that will for sure get Lois a 5-year stay at the Clink, and I just hope the family buries whatever's left of them respectfully, not how they laid Meg to rest.
Thanks, didn't want to pay for the hole.
Lois volunteering as James Woodhigh's teacher might seem harmless at first, but when you consider the fact that she once tried to grape a child, the whole thing looks very sketchy. The family's watching a news report about the
Something?
Okay, I'm Stifler's mom.
Still, no idea.
Just get your pants off, hon.
Instead of being horrified that Lois was trying to child, Peter beats Bieber to a pulp and apologizes to his wife for previously calling her a plow horse. Aging is certainly nothing to be ashamed of, Lois, but how can you ever show your face in public again after you tried to get it on with a literal frackin' kid? Mrs. Griffin could have been thrown in jail for life if Peter hadn't barged into Bieber's dressing room and stopped her, but as this was an attempt, she'd only be getting 5 years. Doesn't make her any less sick, though. While Lois is definitely a more responsible parent than Peter...
all right. He doesn't know what he's doing. You fatso, punch your baby in the face.
I did good, Meg.
Shut up.
I did good. I did good.
When there's a bottle of wine that needs a drinking, Stewie's safety goes right out the window. Just look at this raging alcoholic vomiting all over him.
Oh! my God!
I got a little nervous. It's just I like you so much.
Yeah, I know how that feels. What about the time that Stewie was left in the house alone while his failure of a mother got drunk in the front yard?
Mom, come look! Mom!
I'll be right back, Stewie. Where's the bush vodka? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Hi, Stewie. You playing with your kitty cat?
Why does her drunk voice kind of sound like Marge Simpson, though? There's no excuse for getting drunk as a skunk when you got a baby to care for, and Stewie could have been easily choked to death on Lois's vomit, or she could have seriously harmed him while intoxicated. She would be sentenced to 6 years in prison for those 2 counts of child endangerment. Plus, Stewie would be placed in foster care while she's forced to attend an AA meeting. They say and like she's only going to be taking one. No, multiple. We know that Quagmire's love life is weird and perverted. Clowns, giraffes, underage girls. Need I say more? We already did a video.
Yes,
but what about
did.
Lois and Peters? Well, it looks like they're into some pretty freaky and illegal stuff as well.
Did you like that game of Mysterious Intruder, Lois?
I told you, I don't know who you are, and my name isn't Lois.
Mine is. Let's do it again.
Or a pair of pantyhose on Peter's head. Also, why do nipples just not exist in this show? As the episode heavily implied that Peter raped the woman, we'll add 10 years to Lois' sentence for accessory to rape. I look, guys, I know it's silly that I'm having to censor it like this, but like, I don't got a choice, man. The show is messed up. I don't know how else to do it. Anyway, the creep better learn to love wearing an orange jumpsuit. So corruption and politics go hand in hand. And when Lois became mayor of Quahog, she was a woman of the people for like 24 hours. After a disastrous vacation in the polluted Lake, Quahog leaves her and her family bald. Lois decides to take on corrupt Mayor West in the upcoming election and wins after using these words of wisdom to connect with the town.
9/11 was bad.
I agree with that.
God, I can't believe how easy this is.
Mrs. Griffin, what are your plans for cleaning up our environment?
9/11.
Mrs. Griffin, what about our traffic problem?
9/11.
Mayor Griffin gets Lake Quahog cleaned up in next to no time. I wonder what other good changes she's going to bring to the town. Well, a designer handbag paid for with taxpayer money sounds like an amazing idea, as does accepting a luxurious fur coat in exchange for the oil companies dumping their toxic waste back into Lake Quahog.
Let the dumping resume.
Hey, Jake, how long can you hold your breath underwater?
Longer than you! Check it out!
Realizing what a corrupt monster she's become since assuming office, Lois shuts off the oil waste pipe and tells Mayor West to take his job back. But putting things right at the last minute isn't going to make her punishment any less severe. Embezzlement is a fancy word for spending money you've been entrusted with for your own benefit. It's a serious felony and would earn Lois another 20 years in the slammer. She was really going to use the money. She should have at least bought something more worthwhile than a lame bag, so probably tears anyway. I'm not telling her how she should use her embezzlement money. I'm just saying, like, you're gonna embezzle, go big. Alrighty, guys, that's half of Lois's crimes down, and her sentence is already 57 years and 1 month long. I was expecting to see no more than 30 years at the halfway mark, so I guess she's way more devious than I predicted. Anyway, these next crimes, they are just absolutely mind-boggling, and that means crazy Mrs. Griffin is in for a whole lot more of jail time. When did you stop believing in magical beings like Santa, the Tooth Fairy, and unicorns? If it was any age before 15, congratulations, you're not as naive as Chris Griffin. It's Valentine's Day, and Chris is absolutely buzzing to set out a can of tuna and a cigar so that Arthur Valentine will leave him lots of Valentines. Now, Arthur Valentine is a non-existent man. Lois and Peter made them up years ago when heartbroken little Chris returned home from preschool without a single Valentine. As Chris the genius saw and figured out Arthur is make-believe, Lois and Peter decide now is the time to break the news to him. But he doesn't believe them, and that means their only option now is to kill Arthur Valentine.
Hi, Arthur! I love you so much and I haven't cussed once today! Dad, get the bowl of tuna from under my bed! Arthur! Oh my God, he's dead! He's dead!
Top 10 saddest TV deaths, right? Huh?
Really?
Well, for killing Arthur Valentine, Lois will be sentenced to 1 trillion years in prison. Because how dare she? No, I'm just kidding. Chris becomes so traumatized by the death of Arthur Valentine that he is unable to move or speak, even after Peter breaks his nose with the basketball and Lois reveals her deepest, darkest secret to him.
I killed a jaywalker in 2002. She looked old, but she was only 51. I mean, back then, that was old to me. It's why I always talk and ask questions so much. When there's any moment of quiet, I think about her. That's why all mothers do that. Every mother has killed someone.
Why am I now just noticing how far apart Chris's mouth and nose are? You could land a plane on that philtrum. Yeah, it's called a philtrum, guys. Did you know that? I didn't know that until today, actually. Lois decides the only way to snap Chris out of the severe psychological state is to bring Arthur Valentine back to life somehow. Peter arrives dressed up as the guy, and Chris is immediately cured. But now he thinks Arthur Valentine is a zombie.
Stop! What the hell are you doing? I've seen The Walking Dead. I have to destroy your brain and then talk about it for the next hour. Chris, take it easy. You're gonna kill me.
Peter takes off his disguise seconds before he's butchered by Chris the Zombie Slayer, and only then does this 15-year-old finally realize that Arthur Valentine never existed. The three of them hug it out, but that embrace could very well be their last. If Chris shared the deeds about Lois's hit and run with the cops, the sociopath would be spending the next 3 decades in jail. For the jaywalker in 2002, not Arthur Valentine. It'd be hilarious if she went to jail for running over an inanimate object, though. Lois did some cocaine in her college years and was clean for decades until Peter started the Griffin family meth business. After their house gets robbed, the Griffins move out of the crime-infested Quahog and start a new life on a farm. The family takes shelter in a storm cellar when a tornado hits and discovers that the previous owners of this farm did a little more than just cattle farming.
You guys, there's a fully functional meth lab in our basement.
Now, I know you're freaked out, but when you really stop and think, our family's best chance to make meth in a lab.
As selling meth is way more profitable and less tiring than raising livestock, ask Walter White. Oh, we should totally do Breaking Bad. Holy frick. Let me know down in the comments section if you want to do that. Like, I know it's not a cartoon, but like, let me know. Anyway, the Griffins start dealing the drug, and pretty soon they themselves become hooked on the drug, and when Brian returns home from college, they are a mess.
Hello? What the hell? Hey, Brian's home. Just working on a family project. Getting in some together time.
I'm back from agricultural school, and I brought some heirloom tomato seeds.
That's nice, Brian. Your pee hole.
What?
Oh, yeah, we're
You made a great video, but what if no one watches it? Too few subscribers.
Keith came in and then fell out again.
Before Brian can fully take in just how low his family has gone, a news report informs everyone of the rise of meth usage in Quahog. Realizing that they've become the criminals they moved to get away from, Lois wants to go back to Quahog and put this whole meth business behind them. Peter and the kids follow her, but only because the meth lab blew up. Seems like Lois is the only one in the family who can put morals over money. Sometimes. The explosion obliterated all evidence of the meth lab, but if this drug-dealing mom really did get caught, she'd be caged for about 30 years. I guess that's fair. I mean, meth really does screw up people's minds.
Fair.
Just ask Jesse. Okay, I'll stop with it. Peter is, quite frankly, the worst husband in history, and while Lois is normally passive to the big blub shenanigans and the ridiculous comments that come out of his mouth, everybody has their limits. And when Lois gets pushed past hers, well, it's time to run for cover. Remember when Peter roasted Lois's new haircut and immediately regretted it?
Look like Anne Hathaway in Les Miserables.
Don't you ever compare me to Anne Hathaway, ever!
Or when she violently squashed his dumb idea to get naked in the town square and paint himself in blackface?
A stupid man! A stupid man!
Ow! You're hurting me! Stop it! Stop it, Lois!
No! I'm so sick of your crap! Why do you always do these stupid things? And why do you always announce them to me before you do them? Are you trying to get a rise out of
Battery.
me? Are you happy now? Is this what you want?
Oh, no! It's not what I want! It's not what I want! I'm sorry! I'm sorry!
And let's not forget that time she exploded at her husband for just doing the grocery run. That's her thing, dang it.
Listen to me, you. I've got one thing in this lifetime.
You always say I never do anything!
More than I like you doing things.
Chris, run!
Trust me, one day Peter will push his wife so far there'll be blood everywhere and a grave that needs a digging. More than one grave, really. Anyway, Lois would be sentenced to 30 years in the Stony Lonesome for beating the crap out of Peter on 3 separate occasions. He really wasn't lying when he called her the ass-kicking housewife. For some reason, Lois loves her big, annoying douchebag of a husband, and she's so attracted to him that I've been able to create a whole fracking timeline of her forcing him to make love. The first instance occurred in Season 3, Episode 7, after Lois gained a black belt in martial arts and was feeling more powerful than ever.
What you looking at?
The underpants. Lose them.
Actually, I sort of have a headache, kinda. So, maybe tomorrow or...
Take them off.
Yeah, okay.
By season 5, episode 6, Peter had become abstinent, but Lois didn't care.
It. I am gonna have regular with you whether you like it or not.
No.
I wasn't asking your permission.
No, I'm abstinent! This is an affront to the Lord! No!
Fast forward to season 18, episode 10, a very jacked Lois uses her muscles to dominate her hubby in the bedroom again.
When you made me suck the hairdryer, I enjoyed it. I did, but I don't want to do that specific thing again.
Well, that's too bad, because I'm ready for round 2. Just gotta make sure the kids don't come in. Now no one can get in, and no one can get out. Hands on the headboard, Chief.
Yes, ma'am.
And lastly, in season 21, episode 10, we saw Stewie watch this eye bleach-worthy videotape of the night he was conceived.
There's something I want to do.
No!
I'm gonna be a mom again.
After switching off that tape, he gets revealed an even darker secret. All the Griffin children were born out of assault.
That's how it happened with all of us, Stewie.
For forcing herself on Peter 6 times, she's gonna be paying with a very long 60 years in prison. She's basically the female equivalent of Quagmire at this point. Oh, hold on, let's not go too far. Lots of Family Guy characters have struggled with addiction. Stewie was hooked on cough medicine, Peter about meth, and Lois, well, she just loves shopping. When Lois is short on cash at the grocery store, she sneakily snatches the expensive ham she wants in her purse and is hungry for more. I don't mean more meat. I'm talking about the most expensive clothes and jewelry in town.
Oh my God, that was such a rush. I'm alive.
Yeah, she's got issues, all right. Lois's kleptomania spirals completely out of hand, and pretty soon the whole house is filled with a bunch of stolen stuff nobody needs, including a priceless Matisse painting from the Quahog Museum of Art. After Joe realizes Lois has the painting, he places her under arrest after punching her for trying to run away. The judge sentences her to 3 years in jail, and with the least lazy and incompetent member of the family locked away in the big house, the rest of the Griffins end up living in their own filth. Fed up with being an even bigger slob than usual, Peter busts Lois out of jail, and the family escapes to Asian Town. Joe chases them down into the sewers, but when Lois saves his life...
Joe, you're too heavy. I can't hang on.
Pretend I'm your child, Lois. Nutmeg!
He talks to the judge and gets her off the hook for everything. While despising Meg for simply existing should have been a crime in itself, it's not. The real crimes Lois committed in that episode were shoplifting, grand theft, escape, and 2 counts of evading arrest. Those offenses would earn her a total of 62 years behind bars. That's 30 years for robbing the Matisse painting, 20 years for shoplifting at least $10K worth of items, 10 years for escaping prison, and 2 years for evading arrest twice. Looks like Stewie better master potty training ASAP, because Peter sure as hell ain't gonna change his diaper when Lois gets thrown back in jail. Peter's constant, sick, abusive treatment of his children, especially Meg, makes Lois seem like the greatest mom ever by comparison. But the truth is that she's just as bad as her husband. We don't get to see her dark side that often, but when we do, it's dark. Remember when Lois gave her darling baby boy a swimming lesson, but the pool wasn't a pool, it was a toilet? Oh, and the objective wasn't to retrieve a dive ring, it was to get the drug addict her precious pill back?
Wait, what's happening? No!
But you know how Teacher Amy has you dive for rings? Well, this is like that, except it's a pill, and it's not okay if you don't get it.
Ah, damn you!
Come on, you just touched it!
What's all the yelling? Oh my God!
The abusive mommy and me time doesn't stop there. There was also that peaceful Sunday drive they took together.
Oh my God! Stewie! Oh God, what have I done?
She even tries to cover it up. Mom of the year right here.
Looks like you ran over him, Lois.
Oh no! He's unconscious! Peter, we have to cover this up.
Yeah, but what?
Let's put a hat on him to cover the wound, and then let's get some makeup and draw eyeballs on his eyelids and find a way to pin this on someone else.
That's enough evidence for CPS to snatch Stewie away, but what about Lois's older kids? Surely she wouldn't harm them.
Like Madonna.
You want to say that again? Who do I look like?
The mom from Modern Family.
That's right, Julie Bowen.
Ow!
That's right.
I do groceries.
Fortunately, the Griffin children will never have to see Lois again, as her heinous treatment of them has earned her a whopping 80 years in prison. Peter will become a distant memory too, as his child abuse sentence is like 10 times worse. Lois doesn't actually always commit crimes because she's a terrible person. Sometimes there's a legitimately good reason behind her crimes, like saving a baby dying of cancer. Evil baby Stewie has finally made a friend at daycare, and Lois could not be happier. She arranges a play date with Scotty here, but the baby becomes seriously ill and has to be taken to the hospital. The doctors diagnose him with cancer, and fortunately, it's a highly treatable kind. Lois can't bear to break the news to Scotty's parents, but they already know and aren't planning on doing a single thing about it.
To us first.
Why wouldn't we bring him? He was unconscious. He clearly needed treatment.
Oh, no, he doesn't receive treatment.
What?
We're Christian scientists. We don't accept medical care for ourselves, and we don't permit it for our children.
It's a rare occasion for Peter and Lois to not be the worst parents in the room. Lois tries to make the couple reconsider, but the Frickers are hell-bent on letting their kid die anyway. And while Mrs. Griffin is a bad person, she's not bad enough to just sit back and let a baby die for absolutely no reason. So in the dead of night, she and Peter attempt to kidnap Scotty and take him for treatment themselves. And notice how I said attempt.
Really?
All right, I got him, Lois.
Really?
Peter, what the? That's not Scotty. That's Ben.
Oh. Well, you know, we ain't known this family that long. I'm still learning everybody's names.
Damn it, put him back and go get Scotty, the baby.
Okay, so I'll go get the baby, and while I'm doing that, maybe you do something about that snatchy tone.
Thank the heavens Peter's not a real wizard. He definitely would have cast a stupid spell and blown up the whole Hogwarts. So when he finally snatches the baby from his bed, she drives straight to the hospital, but the police are already there to arrest her for child abduction. Scotty does end up getting the help he needs after Lois convinces his parents that God wants them to use modern medicine. Kidnapping Scotty so he wouldn't die was the right thing to do, I guess, but it's still a crime at the end of the day, and Lois would be getting 20 years in jail for it. But don't let this one selfless act sway you into thinking that Lois is an overall good person. I mean, she literally held Peter and his friends captive in the attic for no reason other than they were annoying her.
Did she just lock us in here?
It looks like it.
Peter's only got 3 real friends, so Lois will be serving 80 years in total for kidnapping if we include the Scotty case. I think that makes her the 3rd most prolific kidnapper in Family Guy. Could be wrong. Lois has gotten totally insane over a bunch of petty things throughout the years, like being out of paper towels and having expired grocery coupons, but her most nutter butter episode happened when she wasn't chosen as Customer of the Week. It's a fate worse than death, isn't it? After a chaotic morning of Meg's period starting on the couch, Brian needing his anal glands expressed, and Chris getting his foot stuck in the toilet, Lois is so happy to make it to her favorite coffee joint. She orders her usual and notices a Customer of the Week board that she's not on, which is weird considering that she's been coming there every day.
Learn how to play my songs with the Billy Collection on Musician. You're gonna crush it.
And is compatible with the workers' astrological signs. But never mind that, she's got to get it this time around, right?
This week's Customer of the Week, Lester!
Lois, there's people that are dying. Even after a good cry, she still can't get over not being picked as Customer of the Week, and even buys a barista's lousy artwork for $600 thinking it'll win her the title. She gets shunned a second time, and after her eye has stopped twitching from shock, she loses the plot entirely and decides to poison a worker who's allergic to peanuts just so she can save them and become Customer of the Week. When nobody's looking, she pours a bag of peanuts into Lisa's car and waits to heroically spring into action with an EpiPen. However, Lisa doesn't have the reaction until after driving away.
Oh, shaving cream. Shaving cream.
Oh my God!
Oh, shaving cream.
She really didn't want to put a quarter in the swear jar. I can attest to that one. While Lisa recovers in the hospital, another barista, Kyle H., checks the surveillance footage and unveils Lois Griffin as the vile person responsible for the crime. He immediately goes to call the cops, unaware that he's dealing with a criminal mastermind.
Put the phone down, Kyle H. So then I start hearing people say there are different levels of peanut allergy. I hear allergy, I think rash, not throat closed cough. I'm so glad that we could talk about this and that you understand how we got... Yes. Once I figure out this whole kerfuffle. Are you scared, Kyle H? I'm a good person. Now, there are 2 ways we can go from... Or I can get you hooked on heroin. Heroin and heroin. That's what's bad.
After gagging Kyle with Chris's dirty, smelly baseball sock, Lois tries to prove she's still a good person by looking after her captive's cat. And when she gets to the apartment, she does even more good deeds, like kidnapping Kyle's roommates and knocking one of them out with a toaster. That night, police arrive on Spooner Street after discovering the two men tied up in Kyle's apartment. But Lois is so out of her mind that she doesn't even react when Joe comes to arrest her.
Lois?
I'm just finishing the dishes. I'm a good person.
Man, only Lois could have like 20 cop cars waiting outside for her, but still believe that she's a good person. 6 months later, Lois gets released from prison, but instead of running into her family's arms or vowing to be a model citizen from here on out, the first thing this nutjob does is go to a new coffee shop and try to win Customer of the Week again. As the Quahog justice system sucks, Lois served barely any time for the serious crimes she committed. The system sucks a little less in real life, so Lois will be serving 90 years for being the customer from hell. That's 60 years for kidnapping 3 people, 10 years for poisoning Lisa with peanuts, and 20 for the toaster assault. I think that's enough evidence to say that Lois has some severe psychological issues going on inside her brain. I mean, for being married to Peter for that long, I can't exactly blame her. While her husband and baby have massive kill counts, Lois has only killed a handful of other characters, and what could have possibly possessed her to unalive people in such brutal ways? Well, there was that one woman who dared to cut in line at the butcher's.
Jill, can I get honey, honey? I believe I was next.
Step aside, lady.
Karen. Yep, Karen.
And that waitress who told Peter he couldn't order a chocolate chip gumball pizza.
I'm on it.
Oh
I
my God.
so much.
Then George Bailey from It's a Wonderful Life had the misfortune of getting in her way while she was raging over being out with paper towels.
I want to live again! I want to live again! Whoa!
And just minutes after drowning the guy, the Christmas haters slaughtered poor old Frosty the Snowman.
You all expect someone else to do it for you, like Santa Claus or Mommy.
What the?
Technically, Lois's Gregor the Mountain Clegane murdered the Karen at the butcher's, but getting someone else to do her dirty work won't make her sentence any less harsh. As the minimum life sentence for murder in Rhode Island is 25 years, she better get used to seeing bars on her window, as she's gonna be spending the next century in jail for 4 counts of murder. Lois wasn't called the Ovarian Barbarian for nothing. She can erupt into a fit of rage when you least expect it, and when she does, she'll take on any opponent, even 20 New Yorkers at once.
Oh, you wanna dance?
Get suck, Yankee suck, Nick suck.
I'm surprised you still come after her.
Krypton sucks.
Ass kicked. Damn, Lois got moved.
Go back where you came from, you bastards!
And harmless Frosty the Snowman for the heinous crime of wishing her a Merry Christmas, as I said.
Merry Christmas.
Plus, we can count that time she caused grievous bodily harm to one of Stewie's little preschool friends.
Oh my God,
Not a
it's
friend.
a kid!
It's Doug!
Lois committed
Nice
22
hit,
counts of
hit.
assault in those clips, and as the maximum penalty in Rhode Island is 20 years, that's 440
said.
years she's going to be serving the Quahog City Jail for this. But with her anger issues and the muscles to back them up, I think that she'll be okay. Lois, after tallying up all your disgusting crimes, it looks like you'll be spending a long 1,059 years away from your family. But maybe that's for the best. Want to see which character can top Lois' sentence? Click on the screen to check out what these diabolic villains have done.
That's it for this